The disgraced Prince Andrew, what's life like for him in his new home? Now is swimming in debt, and yes, you guessed it, he used his money, or should I say taxpayers' money, to fund Jeffrey Epstein. Now that all that is gone, what's life like for him? In order for you to understand the story, we need to talk you back. The latest revelations from the Epstein files raise some serious questions about the reliability of what the then Prince Andrew said in a BBC Newsnight interview in 2019.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. From that day forth, I was never in contact with him.
We've gone through his replies to find out how they stand up to what we found out since. In emails which were apparently sent by and to Andrew, he has previously denied any wrongdoing.
Any wrongdoing?
It would be, to some extent, a stretch to say that
We now know that Andrew Mountbatten, Windsor, and Jeffrey Epstein were in frequent contact with each other. They talked business, they mixed socially, they visited each other. They were close enough for Epstein to set up a dinner date for Andrew, promising that his guest was 26 Russian, clever, beautiful, and trustworthy in an email from August 2010 in 2008. And strangely enough, his wife also spoke about Jeffrey meeting their kids. But there is more. Except here's an email from Andrew to Epstein in 2009, please. May I stay in your beautiful apartment? Again, Andrew was asking about using Epstein's place in Paris at a time when he says that this email was sent as soon as Epstein's sentence was over in July 2010, saying congratulations, as he'd found out you were allowed out from yesterday while in New York. This picture was taken of the pair walking in a park. Andrew gave an account of their conversation where their connection was said to have been severed. Forward, but contact showed no signs of stopping. Soon after Andrew was back in the UK, it was great to spend time with my US family. Looking forward to joining you all again soon, he told Epstein. I'll call you tomorrow as I'm moving the family up to Sandringham. During the day, the no contact had evaporated. Andrew went on to say Epstein had been understanding about the end of their relationship with Andrew, insisting that with all the attendant scrutiny on me, it was over. But months later, they were still sending friendly emails to each other with Andrew in February 2011, promising Epstein, "We'll play some more soon." In the interview, he maintained that he had taken a moral stance on cutting off ties with Epstein. It seemed an important part of his testimony.
I took the decision that I had to show leadership and I had to go and see him and I had to tell him that's it.
Although the emails suggest that wasn't it. They were even...
Although the emails suggest that wasn't it, they were even in touch on Christmas Day. Emily Maitlis pressed the point about this being their only connection since his conviction in 2008. And it got worse when he sold British intel to Epstein and what the British media said.
Oh, thank you.
Your thoughts on this. Now, here's the score with Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He was already under intense pressure after the Epstein files revealed that he, allegedly, you have to say this, it could be that these files were not genuine, but it looks as if they are, that he passed on basically British secret information, British secret communiques from his time when he was trade envoy to his buddy, the billionaire Mandelson. Now, since then, the allegations against the former Prince Andrew have become much, much worse.
That's disputed by the emails. Can you speak any time from now until later today? That was Andrew's message to Epstein on Christmas Eve after that trip, one of a number of emails that seemed to be about setting up phone calls. The interview turned to Virginia Roberts, whose later married name was Virginia Duffy, and who became Andrew's most prominent accuser before her death in 2025.
King himself has been very vocal in issuing a statement saying that Buckingham Palace will cooperate fully with any police investigation.
Behind the scenes, there were emails back and forth about her claims that included preparing a statement for Ghislaine Maxwell to explain her position, including a contribution from Amanda Thirsk, Andrew's private secretary and close advisor. Her proposal was to reject Virginia's claims about being trafficked for sex with Andrew as completely untrue, but she suggested that Maxwell said the only time I recalled a meeting was at my home in 2001 in London. You have published a photo. They did not have sex. They may have met up again in New York, but I categorically state that Prince Andrew did not grope, nor did they have sex. There was no orgy in Little St. James. It rejected any wrongdoing, but it accepted that they had met in London and possibly New York, and the photo of Jeff and Andrew together was authentic. There was an explanation that he was in Woking at Pizza Express, and more doubt was cast on the photo.
Of the law, word perfect. You knew it inside out.
Yeah.
Every word had been broken down so that you understood the law as well as knowing it, parrot fashion. And quite frankly, that sort of training doesn't happen these days. But there's a very, very big question here as well for the Metropolitan Police, who I was swift to praise at the start of this interview. But of course, it is they who have provided over the decade.
But an email from Ghislaine Maxwell again appears to confirm that there was a meeting with Jeffrey that evening at Maxwell's London house, and that the photo was taken there. In a draft statement she sent to Jeffrey Epstein in 2015, she wrote in 2001, "I was in London when met a number of friends of mine, including Prince Andrew." A photograph was taken, as I imagine she wanted to show it to friends and family. It doesn't seem to dispute the photo or the meeting. There have been more recent calls for Andrew to testify about what he knew, and Emily Maitlis put that question to him.
Can be a crime under the crime of misconduct in public office.
Yeah, and of course, one of the problems here, Pete, call me cynical, but of course, if you're a senior officer and you order the arrest of a member of the royal family, the brother of the king, you might not get a knighthood. So you don't want to move too quickly, do you? Just leave.
Among the significant findings of the released emails is how hard the US authorities tried to get Andrew to testify, with no sign of him or his lawyers being willing. The US authorities concluded in an email from 2020 that efforts to obtain a truly voluntary interview have been exhausted. They then began a formal process of trying to compel Andrew to give evidence. More than 6 years after the Newsnight's interview, there is still no sign of him planning to share what he knows about Epstein as the interview came to a close. Emily Maitlis then asked more about Andrew's feelings about the scandal and how the royals should respond. His response, once again, relies on the claim that he'd cut ties with Epstein on that New York trip in 2010.
Let us all down on an almost daily basis. But let's praise them for once, shall we? Two Islamic State-inspired extremists, Brits called Walid Sadoui and Ammar Hussein, have been found guilty by a jury at Preston Crown Court.
The emails show he was frequently still in contact. That included sending Epstein official documents from Andrew's trips as trade envoy, including confidential information from Afghanistan. All of that was sent after the time he claimed not to be in contact. Emily Maitlis gave him one more chance to make an apology.
Just let us all down on an almost daily basis. But let's praise them for once, shall we? Two Islamic State-inspired extremists, Brits called Walid Sadoui and Ammar Hussein, have been found guilty by a jury at Preston Crown Court.
He talked about some seriously beneficial outcomes from their relationship.
And have been sentenced to 37 and 26 years respectively. They plotted a deadly gun attack on Manchester's Jewish community and have been sentenced to decades in prison. Now the police brilliantly, clearly monitored these people.
Stayed with him. From the release files, the emails indicate that Epstein's conviction wasn't any problem for Andrew. As we've seen, his response at the end of Epstein's sentence was congratulations, and their personal, social, and business connection had shown no signs of stopping. We have contacted Andrew Mountbatten Windsor for comment. He's previously denied any wrongdoing,